Because of the nature of the video itself, I'm not going to play the video in the video, so I'm going to play the audio. What I'll do is I'll leave the link to the article that has the video in it, and if you do choose so to watch it, that is entirely up to you.
Let him go, dude. Let him go. Let him go. Please, let him go. Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go. I'm going to. Guys, get the out of here. Let him go. Get your phones out here and go. Let him go. Shake your head at me. Let him go. Get the out of here. Go.
We're worse than the police. We're totally worse than the police. The police couldn't even come out.
You happy about this? You nappy-headed. You happy about this?
What do you really want me?
Do it. You nappy-headed.
What do you want to call me?
About this? You with your 5 white friends? You happy with your 5 white friends? You guys started all this. You put it in your film. Film it. Film it all. Come over here again. Come over here again. Film it. This sucks. This sucks both ways, guys. Come over here again. This sucks both ways. No, let's go. Come on. I have no problem. I have no problem. Just like when you guys invaded us. You guys invaded us. We were having a great time and you invaded us. No one invaded you. Stupid liberal. That's what you get. Take your ass on.
Okay, so y'all just heard will be one of the states that will definitely be touched on in my Sundown series. And after hearing this, I'm very interested to see what I found out about that state as a whole and the various towns I'm going to touch on. But what you heard was these individuals literally in the process of about to literally lynch this black man that you see on the left side of this picture on your screen. And the 2 pictures that's on the right are some of the ones that were involved. The one that's at the top right, he was like the loudest one in the group, which means he was probably the damn ringleader. So I'm going to go ahead and read the article, and we're going to get as much information out of this as we possibly can. It says a black man in Indiana says he feared he was about to be lynched in a heated 4th of July encounter with a group of white men that was partially caught on video. Now, that's very interesting that they said they was trying to lynch him on the 4th of July. I'm guessing that's how you, or is it Vaughx Rush Booker, wrote on Facebook that he was walking with a friend Saturday to watch a lunar eclipse near Lake Monroe when he was confronted by a man in a Confederate flag hat who appeared to be inebriated. The man followed them in an ATV and told them they were on private property, according to Booker, who told the man he believed he had permission to cross. Booker said he soon learned that the person who granted permission wasn't the actual property owner. As he and the pal were leaving, Booker said they encountered several more white men who quickly became aggressive and asked them to take a different route. So I'm guessing the friend was the one who was recording. Moments later, according to Booker, the men attacked him from behind, knocking him to the ground. The 5 were able to easily overwhelm me and got me to the ground and dragged me, pinning my body against the tree as they began pounding on my head and ripped off some of my hair, with several of them still on top of my body holding me down. Booker said one of the alleged perpetrators jumped on his neck using what felt like his full body weight. Other people who heard the commotion tried to help as the alleged attackers told them we're going to break his arms while instructing their pals to get a noose. Booker shared several clips of the incident, including one showing bystanders trying to intervene in the back of a man who appears to be held against a tree by another man. "Please let him go," someone could be heard saying. In another video, one of the men repeatedly refers to someone behind the camera as a nappy-headed bitch. "You nappy-headed bitch, you happy with your 5 white friends?" the shirtless man can be heard saying, and we're talking about the guy at the top right. Booker said the Indiana Department of Natural Resources responded to the scene, but they refused to arrest any of these individuals. That's all you needed to know right there. The agency confirmed the incident is under investigation and the final report will be sent to local prosecutors, meaning they ain't gonna do shit. But Booker said that he is speaking out because he gravely concerned that if any other people of color who were to cross their path, they could be killed. I don't want to recount this, but I was almost the victim of an attempted lynching, Booker wrote on Facebook. I don't want this to happen to me or anyone else. It hurts my soul and my pride. And there are multiple witnesses, and it can be hidden or avoided. This reminds me a little bit of the story I just recently did about that black man, the Elijah Weatherspoon, down in South Carolina, where he was on the boat with all these PC individuals and he ends up so-called drowning, and they refuse to investigate what actually indeed happened. The same thing here. They said they refused to pretty much touch on it. They was going to be fine with this black man being lynched. They said break his arms, and then they said grab a noose. They was to all the people who love to say this is 2020. Yeah, we know it's 2020, but us over here know that the remnants of Jim Crow is still here. It's still flourishing. Now, I don't know what the ages of these inbreds are, but you can clearly hear, look at them and tell that, palm color, they age kind of different. They age like freaking Martians. So they could be in their 20s and look like they in their 40s. So for all we know, they could be 21. And it's still happening. This man is extremely lucky that people were there. And if you couldn't hear in the background, somebody was kind of breathing kind of hard, like they were trying to gasp for air. I think that was him. He was kind of doing like a breath, like like a kind of like he couldn't, like he was trying to get his breath. So I think that was him. And of course, you heard Karen in the background. You could hear her saying, "Y'all act just like the police. Y'all just like the police." If y'all could see their faces, it was like literally looking at their ancestors during Jim Crow. That's why I say all the time, these individuals are not far removed from their ancestors. They practically carry on the same traits, and it's generational at this point. But we as black people have to be extra careful out here, because they are at the moment where they are just looking for any reason to really fuck with us. And as you can see, he didn't even get no so-called protection from the people that he thought he would. They said they were not going to look into this. They said they were not going to investigate them. And then they lied and said that they were on private property or on their property, when it turns out they really weren't on their property. So they were just looking for a reason to mess with this guy, and they found it, even though there was no reason. That's why you won't find me walking out in no woods. I don't care if I'm with other people or not. I will not be out there. I've watched The Hills Have Eyes. I have watched Wrong Turn. And now you don't even have to look at those movies. You can just watch stuff in real life, like what just happened to this guy or what almost happened to him, and see that the shit is real. But also, black people, we are going, as a collective, are going to have to strap up. We cannot, if you're going to go out in the woods like that, you better have a piece on you, for real. Do not go out there empty handed. I don't care if you have to get a stun baton. You just make sure that you are carrying something to protect yourself. And like I said, luckily for him, there were other people around that could hear the commotion of what was going on. Because had they not heard that, this man would probably, well, not probably, he would be dead. Now you have Rand Paul's silly looking self up there trying to block that anti-lynching bill from being sent to the Senate. Not that I don't know what they would do with it anyway. And here you have this one actually about to occur. Now, I wonder how far this story is actually going to travel, because I don't think it has really even left the internet just yet. I'm sure they're probably trying to come up with all kinds of excuses to try to pass by the behavior in which these inbred mountain goats have tried to put out there. And I'm telling you, I have a feeling this isn't their first ride at the rodeo. I have a feeling they probably tried something like this before. And I bet you if you probably look into their background, they most likely have, but nothing happened to them. Look at what the people that he called on for help, they didn't even do anything. So they're all in bed with each other. They probably all know each other too. But the world we live in is a sick one.